Oh,
Okay,
okay.
we're going.
Do we have to?
No.
We have to clap, no?
Yeah, let's do a clap.
Ready? Beautiful.
Beauty.
Actually, my hands have gotten a little more clap friendly because of
Clapified.
church.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I just,
You're getting good at those.
hallelujah, amen. Oh yeah, bro.
You're getting good at those. Do you sing?
Yes, bro.
You're a singer?
I think. Well, not like on the pulpit, but
They don't let you do solo?
no, I think I can. Like, let's say if I have a song that I want to sing, they can. It's called a special. So at the church, anybody's open to do a special to read a some poetry, for example. Like, there's some guy who's really good at short form poetry. Like,
Okay.
it sounds like it's interesting. You know what I'm saying? And like the specials are like the youth, which are the kids. The
Mhm.
little, like, dude, they're like 3 and up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they sing. They read Bible verses. Like, it's really cool. Those are
Yeah,
specials.
that'd be fun.
And so, like, there's some people who have testimonies, who have like reflections and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Right. Okay. Well, what do we want to get into today?
So
You have some notes.
yeah, I wanted to read kind of what's been on my mind lately, especially with like our age. Well, like 20 to
Mhm.
30 is one of the biggest. I like to say the most influential age jumps that we have, because we start off in college, and by the time we're 30, we're out of college. We have a degree. We have some sort of a direction, a home, whether we have a family. Well, this is like in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, 20s are tough because, I mean, you either a purpose or you have to figure out how to beat that like 20s depression
Mm-hmm.
somehow, because it's that weird gap of time where you're not really hanging out with all of your friends like you used to, but
Yeah.
then you're not starting a family yet. Like, you don't have a child,
Yeah.
which will turn into your purpose probably more into your 30s.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, like, so I reflect a lot, like, on my parents, for example. My dad had me when he was like 26. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's like turning 50 in this year. So it makes me reflect. You know what I'm saying? By the time I'm 26, I'll be having my first kid, and by the time I'm 50, he'll be 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I'll be too old to really enjoy the things that I would have wanted to enjoy. Not that I'm saying I'm not promoting, having children at a young age. No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, having a kid at like 30, 33, 35, you're looking into the future, because like we're in the generation where we're '04, for example, or the
Yeah.
thousands, right? So it's going to be like 30 years, right? And then another 20 years. So that's a 50-year age gap from your generation of thinking to your kids' generation of thinking.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, there will be absolutely no relation, like, mental relating with this person, with your child. The new things that come up, it's gonna be like us and our grandparents, bro.
Maybe
That's what
it might
is.
even be worse.
Yeah,
With how
exactly.
fast they're like pumping new inventions out.
Exactly. And thankfully, we're not so desensitized by technology, but there's families who are completely desensitized and are unable to have genuine conversations with older people. You know what I mean? Because of how desensitized they are. And so, again, coming back to my points, like, we're growing from 20 to 30s, which is the biggest jump that we're taking as adults. First, we're getting into adulthood, and we're trying to mold ourselves into the men that we want to be. And so this is the title of what I wrote: "The Man You Are Meant to Be." We'll dive right in, and then we'll dissect it as after we're all done, and you can give me your opinion on it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So what I wrote last night at like 12. That's why I slept a little later than I would like to, but it's okay.
Yeah, you're suffering now.
We are all meant to be something. We have all been put through life with a purpose greater than ourselves. Live and breathing experiences, building ourselves through the good and the bad that we endure, shaping our minds to think a certain way, to view our surroundings through a glass pane unique to us, affecting the way we act and react to our ups and downs, changing every moment of every day, adapting, learning through the mistakes, the failures, all to achieve personal success, to be triumphant. When we delve deeper into our souls, we learn the truth, our reality, exposing the raw, the ugly, uncovering the true beauty in our hearts. The moments leading up to reflection are the foundational building blocks of a man. Before establishing an image of who we wish to be, we must dig deeper than the physical reflection of our flesh to fully understand who we are. Before creating a goal, we must question, answer, and when we can't answer, we must search and seek the truth. Pursue the knowledge of understanding. A man with no understanding, with no vision, drifts along the waves with no direction, lost, alone, and drowned with hopelessness. Life can be a blessing through the right lens, and it can also be an agonizing hell. You decide. You create your lens. Your environment shapes it, and your decisions, your actions, make it a reality. We are all meant to serve a purpose, something far deeper than ourselves. Will you live your life living out that purpose, pursuing it daily, progressing each and every day, giving your blood, sweat, and tears into it? Or will you live the rest of your life, the rest of your existence, wondering, contemplating if you truly did enough, living in regret because you didn't want it, because you didn't want it enough? You are free to decide your fate. The road to hell feels like heaven on earth, full of momentary pleasure, comfort, and complacency. The road to heaven feels like hell, full of suffering, pain, struggle, and overwhelming anxiety, and a depression pushing you to quit, to give up. The moment a man makes the conscious decision to give up, to stay down, he has already died. The fire that once lit his childhood imagination was officially put out, with no one to blame but himself. The decisions we make are life or death. They affect more than we credit. They accumulate the direction you allow them to.
That's well written.
What do you think?
It's very good. It's all true.
There's a lot to unpack and unravel there, because I think the biggest thing that all men face are this question. Based off of the experiences that they've lived, they create an idea of what is a man. Because as young men, we're not really fully men. You know, we're a step before.
Yeah, it's
But that
awkward.
step is so not vague, but it's so wide, and there's little mini steps in between that to truly achieve the stature of a man.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, because everyone kind of expects you to be a man, especially growing a beard.
Yeah, but this is a physical characteristic. So it's like, that's why I wrote, you have to look deeper than the reflection of your flesh. Your flesh does not define you. You know what I mean? For example, Captain America. Let's reflect to that movie, right? Before he got the serum, he had the balls. He had the character. He had the never back down. Although he was small, although he was scrawny, he had that, I'll die protecting. I'll die serving. That's my purpose. I'll keep pushing no matter how far it goes. And then he got in his serum, his flesh encapsulated the true man inside. That's essentially what it was. The reflection of who he was as a person essentially became like human form, basically. So it's like, you can be big, man. You can be dangerous. You can be genuinely a threat.
Yeah.
But if you're not a threat mentally, emotionally, psychologically, if you're not intellectually honest with yourself, then you're really not encapsulating what a true man is to the fullest of extent. You made it halfway there, which is more than a lot of people do, but you're not fully.
And it's a little bit different for everyone. I think being a true man is achieved once you find or chasing your purpose.
And that's why, like, that purpose is different for each and every individual. Sorry.
Kind of goes back to the book that I was telling you about last night. It's The Alchemist, and he's captured in saying, when you possess great treasures, rarely are you believed. And so for Captain America, he had it in him the whole time, and it didn't show until he was given the serum. He knew it was meant for him.
It wasn't taken serious by other people. That's why.
But he knew it was meant for him. He was destined to become that.
I agree, and I think it's kind of grown through the experiences, which is kind of what I started with, is like, your definition of a man is established through the life that you lead and the examples that you are portraying. There are people who have no father figures but have to grow into it themselves. Like, I've seen on social media quite a good amount. It's like, if you never learn how to wash your sheets, if you never learn how to maintain yourself as a man, here's just a plain example. Because, like, as a person who, like, and I really admire those people because they never grew up with the father figure, never had somebody to rely on, somebody to look up to. Obviously, the family roles and maternal roles are a whole other topic for another day. I think the foundational thing is, there are so many resources out there that are helping you get the basics on what it takes to be a man. Because like one, a man is independent in the aspect that he can upkeep himself without the need to be told. Because if your mom is still telling you to get out of bed, and you're the only reason you're getting out of bed is because she's telling you, then you have no genuine desire to do something for yourself. You're doing it for somebody else. You're not brushing your teeth for yourself. You're not going to the gym for yourself. You're not reading for yourself. You're not trying to grow for yourself. You're just moving with the motions. That's what I mean in a man with no direction. A person with no direction is just drifting along, letting the waves guide your path. But a man is a boat. A man is a ship. And a man with God has a captain. A captain's guiding you. Hey, man, we're going over here. I know you see that shiny island over there. I know you see all these different things, but we're going here because these are all distractions.
And there will be people that rely on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of it, too.
Yeah.
My mom hit me with something crazy the other day. It was like 9 a.m. and she wanted to go on like a walk with the dogs in the morning, and I was asleep. I was like fast asleep. And she was trying to get me up, and I was like reluctant to get up. And then she hit me with, one day I'm not going to be here anymore, and you're going to regret not going on this walk. My sister was in the room too. She was like, Mom, you can't, that's not fair. You can't say that. And I was like, I just shot up. I'm like, God damn it, she's right.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? Like, why do I want an extra 30 minutes of sleep when I could spend it with my mom? I can sleep after the walk, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get that time back with my mom or my family or my dogs when I go out walking. So, like, get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah.
Especially if it's for your mom or your family, your sister, your brother, your good friends. You can't get that time back. Get the fuck up. It's not worth that extra 30 minutes of sleep.
I second that. I think it's about appreciating the moments that you have, no matter how momentary they may feel.
Yeah.
Because, like all things, they pass, and we will one day pass.
Yeah. Live in the moment, but realize the value of the moments that you're missing out on, or you're choosing to miss out on.
I agree. Well, and it comes back to responsibility, right? As in, are you giving yourself treating yourself like a job, right? Like I am the business that I'm investing in, right? And I am the boss of this business. And that's kind of why I'm so hard on myself, is in I'm the only one telling myself to get up. Yeah. I might have school, bro. You know what I mean? In all genuineness, there's no attendance, bro.
It's hard.
Exactly. The only reason I go is because I have to. It's life or death for me. It's life or death for me. And whether or not that is for you is not the point. What the point is that there's a responsibility. It's like, hey, man, you want to reach set goal, for example. These are steps that you need to take to achieve set goal. If I do not take these little steps up to that point, I am not establishing my foundation, and I'm not going to achieve it because I didn't put the hard work here. And at the end of the day, once I reach that point, whether or not I achieve the goal will determine my mental state at that point.
You have to hold yourself accountable.
Exactly. Because imagine 6 years of college, 7 years of college, because I had to extend my time over because I failed my classes, because I wasn't going in the morning. I wasn't studying overtime. I wasn't devoting myself to my goal. And I think that's the biggest thing we need to acknowledge as men, is you have to be responsible of where you want to be and how you get there.
Yeah. Imagine walking down and finally getting towards the end of the road, and then you realize that you didn't achieve your goal.
Yeah.
And you just wonder what you could have done if you just decided to get up a little bit earlier, eat a little bit healthier.
Yeah, the law of accumulation. That's why I finished this little writing on that, and I was telling you about it before.
I like the color of that, by the way.
Thank you.
It's a nice red.
Thank you. And reflecting on the law of accumulation, I'm looking at myself presently. Where I am right now is the repercussions of the accumulation of good and bad decisions up until this. And that's what I want you to really, really focus on, is where I am right now, mentally, physically, spiritually, is because of me, because of my decisions, because of what I chose to do leading up to this point. And whether or not I'm proud of it is because of the decisions that I made up. Do I look at myself in the mirror with genuine respect, with pride, or do I look at myself with anger and regret?
Yeah, you have to build credibility in yourself, because when you're your own boss, everything going on behind closed doors that no one sees, really holding yourself accountable like a boss would be. And you're not holding yourself up to the standard that you should be if someone was watching you or hovering over you the entire time. You have to think of it, there's always someone watching, and there is.
And that's our subconscious.
It's just not physical all the time. But you always have to think like that because every decision you make, it counts.
And in 10 years, all the decisions that you made between that point will generate your outcome. If you work out every single day for the next 5 years, you will achieve your dream physique. You will, because you did it every single day and you prioritized it every single month, every single year.
Yeah.
Until that end goal.
If we do like 2 podcasts a week for 6 months, we're going to get really fucking good at podcasting.
Exactly. We're going to get really good at speaking, thinking, reflecting, and responding. And when you really dive deep and dissect what all these little habits and all these little things can do for us, like for example, if I read a book every single day, the identity of me or being a reader is being reflected. And now I'm better at reading long form genres. I'm better at understanding complex language. You know, there's so much that you can dissect in just, oh yeah, I like to read. There's so much that goes into that.
Yeah, it's in perceiving yourself. It's the same thing with this. If we call ourselves podcasters, then we're going to have a little bit more ambition to become really good podcasters, as opposed to saying, we're kind of just trying it out, you know, seeing what happens. Like, no, we're going to actually try to do this.
Exactly. And
we identify with that label.
And the label that you choose to put on yourself will define the rest of your life. That simple. The label that you choose to define you will define your future.
Yes, you are what you tell yourself, and you are exactly what you say to yourself too. If you're beating yourself up all the time, it's negative interpersonal thoughts and conversations. Pussy.
Yeah, and now you have a negative relationship with yourself.
And that's not good all the time. It might work for a little bit, and short term, like temporarily, it might give you the motivation you need. But at the end of the day, it's not motivation that will get you where you need to be. It's discipline.
And well, it's about like, do you like being with yourself? I think that's the biggest thing that's made me reflect is like, do I like the person I am and would I spend long amounts of time with that person?
Are you running from something or are you chasing something?
Exactly.
That's what you have to reflect on deep within yourself.
And it's hard to, especially now in this weird age of constant information, it's hard to really know a set perspective on yourself because now you're a construct of everything that you're exposed to.
Yeah, it's information overload. Because now you're comparing yourself to this. You're saying, are these characteristics my character? And you're like, well, I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then you start to feel like you're not really yourself. You're just what people tell you are on the internet. And it's a combination of all these different things.
Yeah. Or you're trying to compare yourself to something that you haven't lived.
Yeah, that you're really not. And you probably don't even really want to be. It's just sometimes the internet influences you in a way that is only beneficial to the people that are trying to influence. And it doesn't actually, the things you absorb aren't really helpful to you at all.
I agree. And it's like, so view this as, imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example. We see his insane physique, his insane amounts of fame, and we all want to be like that, right? I was like, but we don't want to live the life that he lived. You don't want to live in between the constant desire for comfort along the way, the battles that you have to fight mentally every single morning, the battles that you fight in the gym every single day. So it's like, yeah, we want that physique and we can achieve it for ourselves. Are we willing to essentially suffer along the way? Are we desiring the pressure that makes diamonds to build ourselves, or are we wanting the easy way out?
Yeah, there's always going to be suffering.
In every aspect.
Balance is just an illusion. I'm sure you've seen a lot of interviews on TikTok. People run up like, hey, you look like you have a lot of money. What do you do? And then they go on for a few minutes about how they own like a pharmacy business or something, and they're making a lot of money, but they're constantly on the move. They're constantly moving. They have a family, but they don't see them that often. They kind of regret not being there all the time for their kids and having to like hire a nanny. And the level that it's rich people problems, they're very real because it's a sacrifice that these people are still making.
Agreed.
The ability to hire a nanny for your kids, that's not, I don't think anyone wants to have to do that. But for some people, they just don't have the time. When they were young, they signed themselves up for more responsibility than they initially had planned for or expected. But now they're so far down this rabbit hole. Like, your family will be set for generations, hopefully. You made the sacrifice not really being for them in other ways. And that's going to be really tough.
Yeah, well, I think it's about focusing on your individuality and really dissecting who you want to be and why you want to be there. And so we all want to be rich. We all want to have abundance and just infinite amounts of money.
Freedom.
Exactly. The example that I'm about to give is like Elon Musk, for example. Multi-billionaire. The absolute hell that he is enduring in his brain does not make it worth it. No. Yeah, we always see is the material. The like, would I like be a billionaire but have to suffer mentally every single day, every waking second? No. Yeah. It wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, some get more rest than others, but Elon's constantly getting berated, and whether you like him or not, that's still stressful for the mind.
Exactly. Like, we can't put ourselves in other people's shoes when we haven't lived their life. And so I think the biggest thing as a man is knowing that you're going to suffer, and that's what identifies you as a man. A man who endures suffering.
And is okay with it, welcomes it, because it's inevitable.
And if you're okay with suffering a little bit or suffering a lot to achieve a goal, then you're better off than those who are going the easy way out, who are just moving with the motions and just drifting along, waiting for things to happen, waiting for a wave to kick them that way or to kick them this way.
Yeah. Even if you don't find your personal treasure, achieve your lifelong goal, probably found yourself along the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's about growing in different areas as a man. There's like a whole pyramid of characteristics that shape you into a perfect man. And it's not like we hit it one by one. Sometimes we hit percentages along this pyramid of characteristics. For example, love. We establish love as children growing up, but then we lose sight of it. Yeah. Unless we're constantly seeking and trying to understand ourselves, as in, why do I love, right? What is the meaning of love? It's sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. The reason our parents love us so much is because they sacrificed their youth, bro. They sacrificed their financial growth. They sacrificed every single day for us. That's love. Us, like, we want us as men, we must sacrifice time to prove to ourselves that we love ourselves. If you're not sacrificing an hour a day to grow physically, mentally, spiritually, then do you really love yourself? Do you really see a outcome that you want to, fill into? Or again, are you just moving in the motion?
And if you can't love yourself, do it for others. Do it for the people that you love. There's always someone. Even saying that, there's someone that comes to mind for every person. So at least one. It's got to be.
Yeah, there's always a purpose.
There's always a reason to push for more.
And I know it feels like there's so much on your plate. I know it feels like the whole world is against you. But if you endure just one more day, and then you continue that mindset, you'll be 10 years ahead, and you'll be like, wow, all I did was take it day by day, and I am where I am now. And there's going to be plenty of points where you're like, I give up, like I'm done. It's like, but once you reach that point, you're already dead.
The only thing you can control is your actions. And if you take an action every single day to separate yourself from the rest of the world and how society all just kind of, it's like group thought. Like everyone just kind of morphing into one big, if you can set yourself apart and do things that the average person isn't doing, if you're in an unhappy spot, you will become a happy person and you will become an above average person. It's easier than you think. It just takes consistency. And you really have to want to do it. Yeah. You need to want change. Otherwise, you're going to fall back and just absorb into this one group thought of society. Yeah. You're going to join everyone else in the average bag of people,
Yeah, and it's because that's a loss of individuality. If you don't know yourself as an individual, you didn't get to know yourself or dedicate any time to know yourself, then you never will.
Your suffering is in a gift in that way. It's different for everyone, and the way you perceive it shapes who you are. So by shifting your mindset on what you're going through and then turning it into fuel to burn a fire helps you fly away into someone that you're really proud of. That's something that you'll have to do.
Yeah.
There's a mindset shift.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Scarface?
I don't think so.
So it's I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but there's this statement that he says, you come in with two things in this world. It is your word and your balls. That plain and simple. Your word is the only thing that you have that is yours. The words that you speak, the way that you respond is the only thing that defines you. If I'm telling you every single day that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I don't do it, makes me a liar, a hypocrite, contradicting the very words that I'm speaking. But if I'm telling you the truth and nothing but the truth, then you trust me because of what the words that I'm speak are nothing but the truth. And I back them up with my actions. My balls, that's my character. That's the person I am. That's my ability, my discipline to make those actions come true. So your balls and your words go hand in hand.
It's all you have. You depend on yourself. No one's gonna save you.
Exactly. Especially as a man, because we're in a position where we have to suffer in order to give. We have to suffer in order to protect. And it's a hard pill to swallow. A lot of people don't want to suffer. Man, I wish I could just kick it at home and just do nothing. I was like, but that life feels meaningless.
It's miserable, and it will catch up to you. You'll hit a breaking point. I don't want that to be in my 30s.
Yeah.
When I finally wake the fuck up.
Yeah. So you can watch this podcast one time and wake the fuck up, or watch it 6 more times and wake the fuck up.
Because everyone wakes up.
Yeah.
It just when is it gonna be when you're 18 years old, fresh out of high school? You're like, holy shit, the world is in my hands.
Let's do it.
Or are you gonna just go MIA for a decade, come out 30, starting to get some gray hairs, and you're like, hold on, I need to do something with my life. That's where a lot of people are, and I think any of them would tell you, I wish I started sooner.
Yeah, and I could definitely agree to that. Like, I wish I started when I was, I know how this sounds, but I wish I started when I was 10, addicted to reading, addicted to studying, addicted to running, addicted to going to the gym.
Dude, I got into stocks and like over quarantine. Imagine if I got into it right before quarantine.
Exactly.
And then I was able to,
exactly,
after the market tripled.
And so, and the moments like that are going to just happen throughout the years. Like right now, through the presidency and through those 4 years, it is going to be an acceleration of variously different things, and as well as a drop. Like it's just it's a pull and a push. It just happens.
Yeah. Well, this one might be more of a roller coaster.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. But
a couple loop-de-loops.
But that's why it's important to start today. Tell yourself every single day, hey, today I'm going to give it my all. Tomorrow has enough to worry about.
Yeah. And don't fear failure at all, because it gets you that one step closer to the yes. Exactly. You've been in sales. That's almost the first rule of sales is that you want to fail. Failure is success.
Yeah. Every no that you gets you closer to that one yes.
Yeah, and it's not always a yes. Sometimes it appears as an opportunity. Sometimes it appears as a person.
Exactly. And it is a process, and there will be a lot of repercussions. I want you to stop for a moment and just sit with this thought. We might be young, but we do not have forever. We might be in our youth, but like all things, they come to pass. There might be a party this weekend, but if you don't have a goal, you're going to go to it. That's simple.
Yeah, what are you doing afterwards?
Exactly.
What are you doing after that? It's just party, and then you wait a little bit, get sad. You're like, hey, you know what? I need to go party again. When is it going to stop?
And drinking, for example, it takes 2 days off your plate. 2 days. So does doom scrolling, but that's a whole other thing. If you drink that night, you just lost that night. And if you struggle to recover the next day, that's 2 days you just threw in the garbage that you could have done plenty of.
In the bin.
In the bin. Never to get back.
And every time you do it, you tell yourself, this sucks. I don't want to do it again. I don't like it. But you still do it again. That's not the suffering you want.
And that's mental suffering, because you're choosing within the comfort of your flesh and the desires of your soul.
You're choosing to forget the bad and then accept the immediate pleasure that it's luring you in. It's a trap.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
And that's reflecting back to the road to heaven feels like hell, because it's just struggling. It's just suffering. It's enduring sacrifice. And the road to heaven, man, how we would love it to have 20 women to our disposal at whatever point. Yeah. That's the desires of the flesh, man. Imagine being drunk every day, every weekend. I mean, for some people, that's what they do. And they don't mind it at all. They enjoy it.
They choose their suffering. They choose to drink over a different kind of suffering.
Exactly.
You know.
Well, again, those have long-term repercussions. We're not advising you drink or do alcohol or do drugs or any of those things, but they all have repercussions. Your decisions have repercussions.
There's going to be suffering no matter what.
Yeah.
You're choosing which suffering would you rather endure. The one that takes years off your life potentially, which is drinking and like doing all this crazy shit. Would you rather feel pain doing things you don't want to do and, you know, going to the gym, exercising, eating healthy?
Exactly.
You don't really want to do that. And saying it's suffering might be a little bit dramatic or sound dramatic, but it is suffering because for some reason it's easier to put poison into your body over and over again, nonstop, than it is eat healthy and put superfood into your body, put nutrients that you need, protein, even water. Some people, they're drinking more alcohol than water.
Exactly.
That's suffering. Pick your poison. And one of them's not poison. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like the law of accumulation, man. We could look at ahead of 10 years from now, and your decisions that you make from here to then will be where you end up at the end of the day. And, I mean, I'm not proud of the decisions I made, but I can't take that back. I can't go back in time and hey, I'm telling myself, hey, man, lock in. No, that's not how it works. But I can tell myself today and make it a thing that I do every single day so that the person I am 30 years is like, damn, Oscar, good job.
You look in the mirror and you feel respect. That's what we're aiming for right here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And if you don't, then you need to literally dissect yourself deeper than what you see through that mirror. You might see the physical aspect, the lack of exercise, little pinpoints that you need to work on. But the flesh is just a cover. What you have going on in your mind, in your soul, literally describes the real you.
The best day to start was yesterday, but the next best time is right now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So let's fucking do it.
Let's
go.
You think we'll leave it on that?
We'll leave it on that.
Let's do it.
It's a high note.
All right, man. I hope this video sat with you, and I know that this helped me, especially if these are things I've already thought of and contemplated and reflected on. Hearing them again and again.
Yeah, people need to be reminded. I need to be reminded. You need to be reminded.
Exactly. And find the right person who's going to motivate you to. If you are struggling to do it yourself, find a good friend who has the same goal as you and to pursue it together. Because that's what me and my brother are doing right here.
We found it.
We found it. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a walk. There's going to be a lot of suffering along it. But that's the whole point.
You might have to do a lot of convincing.
Oh, for sure.
But the people who want it, you'll be able to tell. You can see through them. You can tell who wants to do some fun, creative things and who would rather consume.
You either consume or you create.
This year, we're creating.
So you decide.
Beautiful.
Hope you decide correctly.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh, no, they're not on.
Well,